Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026, and we are here in our hearing room at the Administrative Services Building for Larimer County. We are here for a administrative matters meeting for the Board of County Commissioners. I call this meeting to order, and as is our tradition, we like to start our meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand or join me as you are able. Thank you all again for joining us today, and again, welcome. We are here to take some care of some administrative matters this morning. First, I will just introduce myself. I'm Larimer County Commissioner, Chair of the Board, Jody Shai McNally, and I'm joined at the table or the dais by Commissioner Kristen Stevens. Commissioner Kafals is traveling today, and he'll be gone for a while, so we wish him well. Also joining us today is Diane Cheney, who is our clerk to the board today. Good morning, Diane. Thanks for being here last night and today. So joining us for our hearing last night, and we have County Manager Lorenda Volker. Good morning, Lorenda. Tom Clayton from the Public Information Office and helps us. We'll be taking a photo of us with our proclamation in a little bit. And then we have Sarah Martin from our Commissioner's Office, who will be reading the schedule and doing all the amazing things she always does for us. So with that, we will now move on into the agenda, and we have now public comment. And I see that we have one person signed up, and so with public comment, we have certain code of conduct and certain rules. Today, anyone who is wishing to do public comment will have 3 minutes, and you will address the Board of County Commissioners. And we will not be, we might be making comments after your comments, but we don't really answer questions during the public, during your comment. So with that, I see that we have one person signed up, David Morrow. And David, I welcome you to come up to the podium, and if you will please introduce yourself and where you live, and then you have 3 minutes, sir.
Sure.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate this opportunity. I live in Bellevue. I grew up in LaPorte, graduated from CLP and Poudre High School. You might know I've been a carpenter my whole life. You might know a little bit about me if you've been to a wedding at the Tapestry House. That's where I grew up, and I tore the house down when my parents gave it to me because it was falling down, and I rebuilt the Tapestry House in its place. So I built 2 houses in Bellevue, and that's where I currently live. I built one for my parents and one for myself there in Bellevue. I came to talk to you a little bit about what happened last Tuesday. I was working in my shop. I'm retired now, and I had some visitors, contractors from Excel, which is not unusual. They came down the driveway and asked to speak to me, which is not unusual. And the gal asked if she could put a camera on the poles that were inside. A camera and a sensor, those were her words. A camera and a sensor on the poles that were inside my property. I hadn't noticed them before doing work out there, but they had a bucket truck. And of course my antenna went up like a camera on my property. It didn't sound quite right. So I declined. But then I watched what they did over the next few hours out there. They drove on my neighbor's property without his permission, and they put up at least, well, some are on the road, but I'm surrounded by XL poles, all 4 sides. And a little device went on every other pole. And so, I was very curious. I went and afterward and looked at them with the binoculars, and it looks like they're a black box about this size, and they have a solar panel, and they have what looks like 2 lenses on them. So I was very curious about it. I drove around, started noticing that throughout LaPorte, down Overland Trail, all the way through LaPorte, 54G, they are on especially through LaPorte, they are on nearly every power pole. I'd never even noticed them before, and I probably wouldn't have even thought twice about it except that they came and asked me if they could put a camera and a sensor on my pole. So I tried to call XL, and as you know, it's very difficult to get through with XL. And I've called every day since that point in time, and I wanted the specs on these cameras because they now surround me. There's at least 12 that now surround all four sides of my property. Of course, if they are, this is what they told me. They told me they were for wildfire detection. Okay. Well, I started thinking about that. Last year they put a.
And so I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Morrow, as you see, the 3 minutes is up.
Oh, wow.
And I apologize.
Okay.
I wanted to give you a little extra time, but I'll give you a moment, and I should have stopped you sooner, but I know you really wanted to kind of share the context, but if you could just give me one sentence to kind of wrap up what you wanted
Okay.
to convey this morning, just one sentence, that would be great. Thank you.
So XL won't reach back to me. They won't give me the specs on the camera. I feel like that you guys should have a policy on what type of cameras can go on the poles, what their abilities are, and I think the public should know. So, yeah, I have more information, but obviously 3 minutes isn't enough.
Yeah, so
I've talked to the sheriff. I've talked to other.
yeah, so let us finish public comment, and then I think the commissioners will make some remarks regarding your public comment. I have some information. So if you'll go ahead and have a seat. I'm really glad you came today, and we're going to make sure there's no other public comment, and then Commissioner Stevens and I will maybe comment on that. So please have a seat. Thank you. Okay, there's no one else signed. I just want to offer anyone else in the room if you'd like to make public comment. Okay, well, let's see. Sarah, is there anyone else online?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, great. So we will close public comment. So Commissioner Stevens, if you don't mind, I do have some information on this. I'll just add, and then if you want to add after, would that be okay with you? Thank you. So first, Mr. Morrow, thank you for coming and bringing this to our attention. I can understand why you have these concerns. I first want to address your comment about having a policy. We do have a policy about cameras going on certain things like telecommunication poles and things like that. So we do have some policies on that where they have to come and get we have certain parameters for some of those cameras. I don't know what this is, but I know you've been working. So I wanted to tell you, we have some things. We put that in about 2 or 3 years ago because of the pano cameras is called what they're called in their fire detection. And so we did put some parameters on that. So I wanted to share that with you. And so I do know Tony Brooks had let us know, and I know you're working with him. Tony's a great guy, and he's been reaching out, and he's been told that they did a little research on their own that there's solar lights, but we're still doing some more. And they seem to be solar lights. So I have also reached out to XL to ask questions, just so you know. I haven't heard back from them. But we also want to suggest that have you talked to Poudre Valley REA, because some of those poles might be their poles as well. And so I just want, or the city of Lebanon, Fort Collins, to see if they've added any devices to their poles and see if it's like all across the whole county. So if you haven't done that, maybe let us know. You're welcome to email us if you have more things you'd like to say and share. And all of our emails, or you can do just boc@larimer.gov, and that will go to all of us. And then we'll probably respond, but we'll have all three of us will have the same information. Or you can email us individually, however you would like. Appreciate you coming today and sharing your concerns. And I do know the Tapestry House. Thanks for sharing that history. It is just a lovely place, and great to know the history. So I'm going to and thank you again for bringing this to our attention. Commissioner Stevens, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, just thank you for coming, Mr. Morrow. Rightly concerned about something that feels somewhat invasive and, normal to ask questions on that. So I'm glad that you came forward. We certainly have contacts at XL and happy to get you in touch with that, as the chair said. And there seems to be a little bit of a creep of this kind of thing. And we all need to sort of be wary of what that looks like and what that means. So, but yeah, be in touch with us, and we're happy to sort of get you in touch with the right folks. But it sounds like people are on it, so I'm glad to hear that as well. Take care.
Okay, so now we're going to move on. Thank you, Commissioner Stevens, for participating in that. And now we're move on to approval of the minutes. Commissioner Stevens, do you have any additions, edits, or concerns about the minutes?
I do not.
So I would ask, please, if you would make that motion.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes for the week of August 10th, 2026.
Any further deliberation? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that passes 2-0. Okay, now we're going to move on for the schedule review. Sarah, if you would not, would you mind please going through the schedule for the week of August 24th through the August 30th, which is, I don't know what happened to August. So
Yes.
thank you.
This is the commissioner schedule for August 24th through the 30th, 2026. On Monday, August 24th, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., there will be a work session regarding emergency management updates in the commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be a special meeting for the 2026 abstract of assessment to the Division of Property Taxation in the commissioner's conference room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., there will be a work session with Leslie Ellis, Director of Community Planning, Infrastructure, and Resources in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Colorado Counties, Inc. Road and Bridge Working Group meeting. From 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m., there will be land use items with the Development Review Team. It's a hybrid meeting in person. It will be in the hearing room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. On Tuesday, August 25th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Mission Reconnect Veteran and Service Member Coalition meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Boyd Lake Conference Room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be Administrative Direction to County Management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the Virtual Regional Advisory Council Behavioral Health Region 2 meeting. From 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Suicide Fatality Review Board meeting at the Larimer County Coroner's Office at 1600 Prospect Park Way in Fort Collins. From 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will attend the Loveland Urban Renewal Authority meeting at the Council Chambers at 500 East 3rd Street in Loveland. On Wednesday, August 26th, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the North Fort Collins Business Association meeting at the Rocky Mountain Innisphere at 320 East Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will participate in the virtual Colorado Forest Health Council meeting. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organization Regional Advisory Council meeting. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Big Thompson Watershed Health Partners meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 2150 Center Avenue, Building A in Fort Collins, or virtually via Zoom. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Community Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Carter Lake Conference Room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fair Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Thomas McKee 4-H Youth and Community Building at 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland or virtually via Zoom. On Thursday, August 27th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Colorado Fire Commission prescribed fire subcommittee meeting. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the Red Feather Lakes community. Guests will be Health District Data and Analytics Manager Meredith Towle, who will present the Healthcare Needs and Barriers in Mountain Communities 2026 survey results. This will be at 58 Firehouse Lane in Red Feather Lakes. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Regional Opioid Abatement Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Behavioral Health Services building at 2260 West Trilby Road or virtually via Zoom. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise meeting. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at 300 LaPorte Avenue in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Shannon McNally may attend the Natural Resources Advisory Board meeting at the Horsetooth Area Information Center at 4200 West County Road 38E in Fort Collins. On Friday, August 28th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Commissioner Stevens will attend the Front Range Passenger Rail Board meeting at the Transportation Technology Center at the 555000 Department of Transportation Road in Pueblo. From 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., commissioners may participate in the virtual Counties and Commissioners Acting Together Interim Active Issues and Policy Committee meeting. From 3 p.m. to 4:50 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual Colorado Works Allocation Committee meeting. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the People First of Larimer County meeting at the Arc of Larimer County at 1721 West Harmony Road in Fort Collins. On Saturday, August 29th, there will be an open schedule. And on Sunday, August 30th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Stevens may attend the First Peoples Community Center open house event at 3745 East Prospect Road in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Sarah. Commissioner Stevens, did you have any changes or additions?
Well, the only thing I'm wondering about is on Tuesday, there seem to be a lot of overlapping events in the afternoon, so I wasn't sure if we are having administrative direction meeting, because everybody else seems to have meetings over and atop those. So, and I don't even know if Commissioner Kafalis is in town, so just maybe we can take a look at that.
We'll take a look at that schedule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was planning to go to the suicide fatality late, but the regional opioid abatement, they're supposed to be moving those to Wednesdays, so I will probably be doing that towards the end anyway. So they're overlapping, but they all are getting sorted out, so we can talk about that. Okay. Also, Sarah, I'd like to add that I'm also going to stop by towards the end of the First Peoples Community Open House, if someone can add that to my schedule. I had forgotten to add that, and so I want to make sure that that is added. So I'll be coming back from camping that night, but I will be up there to do that, and I think that's the only other addition. And I think, yeah, so, great, thank you. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have a short consent agenda today. The consent agenda consists of items of no perceived controversy and routine administrative actions such as abatements, agreements, deeds, final plats, liquor licenses, resolutions, and other matters previously reviewed by the Board of County Commissioners. Staff recommends approval of the consent agenda, and a commissioner may request that an item be pulled off the agenda, considered separately. Items pulled from the agenda will be considered after the board takes action on the remainder of the consent agenda. So I'm going to read through at a high level the consent agenda for today, August 18th, 2026. If you are interested in more details, you're welcome to go onto our Board of County Commissioners website, where all the details and amounts and terms and all those things, along with our emails and meetings and other items that you might be interested, are all available. So today for the consent agenda, we have one agreement, which is State of Colorado Amendment Number 2 for LCR 19 Taft Hill Improvements. And that's amendment to transfer multimodal and mitigation option funds, MMOF, grant to the city of Fort Collins. And that is a local match that's between the Larimer County, City of Fort Collins, and Colorado Department of Transportation. Again, you can go and look all those details online. We have an appointment, recommended appointment to the Park Hill Improvement District of 3 folks, and it's Joy, Matthew, and Kevin. And these are all different terms and a little staggered, but they'll all be the same term, because this is I think this is one of the new PIDs. So we're trying to get those started. So, and congratulations and thank you to all of them for stepping up and giving of their time and serving their community. We have a liquor license. We have for the Earth Roamers Owners Rally that is up at McGregor Ranch in Estes Park. That's a special event permit for 6% for the weekend of September 10th through September 13th. And this is for the Muriel L. McGregor Charitable Trust special event permit, 6%. Then we have miscellaneous. We have a stipulation for tax year 2025. I won't go into those details. And then we have something from our human resources benefit policy submitted by Human Resources, and this is just a benefit policies update. And again, you can go online and learn more about details of that online. And I think this is mostly adjusting to changes in state law that we have to adjust to make sure we're meeting state law and some of those adjustments. So you can go and look at that there. And so Commissioner Stevens, did you have anything you'd like to pull?
I do not.
Then I would ask if you would make that motion, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda for August 18th, 2026.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passes 2-0. Okay, thank you so much. So now we move on to the discussion part of our meeting. We have something that's very near and dear to both Commissioner Stevens and my hearts. It's a proclamation for women's right to vote in Equality Day, which is on August 26, 2026 this year. And this was submitted through our Commissioner's office. And we, the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners wants to recognize the accomplishments that so many women fought to achieve and rededicate ourselves to tackling the challenges that remain and expanding opportunity and representation for women and girls in Larimer County and Colorado. We have two guests with us today that represent some really important organizations in our community. And so I would like to invite them to the podium, and I will ask Commissioner Stevens to read this proclamation, and then maybe you'd like to make some comments after we read the proclamation and make the motion, and see if you'd like to make some comments about this. And we're really glad you're both here today. So first, Commissioner Stevens, let's read the motion, the proclamation, and have you make the motion, and then we'll have them come up, make comments, and then we all, both of us can make comments and see if Lorinda wants to make some comments, and then we'll take a picture. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Great, thank you.
All right. This is a proclamation for women's right to vote and Equality Day, August 26, 2026. Whereas on August 26, 1920, the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution gave most women the right to vote. And whereas in 1893, Colorado had already secured the right to vote for women. And whereas on this 106th anniversary of the 19th Amendment and the 133rd anniversary of the right for women to vote in Colorado, we celebrate the progress that has been made towards guaranteeing the right to participate in our democracy, regardless of gender. And whereas in 2022, nationally, 70% of women were registered to vote compared to 68% of men, and 81.5 million women voted during the 2024 presidential election compared to 72.5 million men. And whereas Colorado is ranked third in the nation for percentage of legislators that are women, averaging 43.4% since 2014. And whereas 26 statewide officers elected in Colorado have been women, and until 1950 all served as superintendent of public instruction. And whereas Colorado has never elected a woman governor, and whereas only 5 county commissioners have been women in Larimer County, and whereas we recognize the work that still needs to be done to overcome the gender inequality that affects women's representation in elected office and leadership across both public and private sectors. And whereas in 2025, the U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics reports that Colorado women earned 80.7 cents for every dollar a man earned in 2025, which represents a decline from 2023. And whereas Larimer County women continue to face disproportionate challenges to economic prospects, affordable and accessible health care, and safety. And whereas Larimer County women still struggle to achieve economic security for themselves and their families due to lack of affordable and accessible childcare and unequal pay. And whereas today we recognize the accomplishments that so many women fought so hard to achieve and rededicate ourselves to tackling the challenges that remain and expanding opportunity and representation for women and girls in Larimer County and Colorado. Now, therefore, we, the Board of County Commissioners for Larimer County, do hereby proclaim the 26th of August as Women's Equality Day, encouraging equity, access, and opportunity of women's work for democracy.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Would you go ahead and make that motion? We'll just have the motion hanging out there until the end.
Yes. I move to approve the proclamation declaring August 26, 2026 as Women's Right to Vote and Equality Day.
Thank you so much. So I know that tomorrow night is the League of Women Voters Women Equality Day celebration. I will be there. That's at Forge in Loveland. So I would like to invite Patty and Trish up to come speak, both of you, about some of the activities and the importance of this day. And then we'll make some comments after that. So please both come up and join us.
And good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much for that great proclamation. You've put so much thought into all of the content of that proclamation, making it very specific to Larimer County and Colorado. That's very meaningful. So I want to extend a thank you to you for recognizing Women's Equality Day and for honoring the importance of women's equality in our community. Women need both a voice in government and the ability to participate effectively in shaping the policies that affect their lives. This recognition is especially meaningful to us this year as the League of Women Voters in Larimer County is celebrating its 75th birthday. For 75 years, the League members have worked to empower voters and encourage civic engagement while creating opportunities for women to make their voices heard. We are very proud of the League's 75-year history in Larimer County and grateful to the county commissioners for being a partner in that ongoing work. So thank you for this recognition and for your commitment to a community where every voice matters. And just to tag on to that, tomorrow evening we'll be honoring 3 local women in Larimer County. Pat Griego, who is a grassroots organizer in her work in educating the Hispanic community on voting and rights as citizens and non-citizens. R.P. Miller is founder of Isaac, helping hundreds of local community members and their immigration legal process. And Lynn Young, who's been a longtime League member, 41 years as a member, providing leadership in Larimer County, Estes Park, and the State League. So again, I thank you, County Commissioners, for this proclamation.
Thank you so much. Patty, good to see you.
Yes, nice to see you. Thank you very much for the invitation to come today. I really appreciate it. I represent Living Her Legacy. We are a nonprofit that is recognizing women's accomplishments, the first time in Fort Collins and the state of Colorado to recognize women's accomplishments publicly in our community. And we are inspiring girls' futures through education programs. One of the ladies we are honoring is an original suffragist. Her name is Theodosia Ammons. She was the first woman dean at Colorado Agricultural College in the 1800s, which at that time, now I call it home ec, which has another name altogether, but it had something to do with chemistry. And she was not only a suffragist in Fort Collins, in Colorado, and at the national level. So if individuals watching this today do not know what the suffragette movement is, I encourage them to look it up. So thank you very much for what you're doing for us in the community and for that proclamation, which was extremely well written. Our nonprofit, this is our 4th year that Barnes & Noble and Centera has invited us to come to support Women's Equality Day. We will be there Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 4, and they provide a percentage of all the sales to support our education programs during that time. So again, thank you very much for the invitation to come today. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll go ahead and stand there if you don't, or you can sit down. We'll make some comments. Go ahead. So Commissioner Stevens, I'll let you start first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Patty and Trish, for being here. Really appreciate the work that you do in the community. It's very important to raise awareness around women in our community that are doing the really good and hard work. And I couldn't think of three more deserving people of this award this year. I just saw Pat Grego at an event staffing a booth just a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, she is everywhere. So and same with Arpie and Lynn, really, really remarkable women. So kudos to that. And then thank you, Patty, for the suffragists that you acknowledged, and for promoting women, and for making sure that young women understand that they can achieve anything that they want to do. And hopefully, as the proclamation said, we will have a woman governor at some point. We haven't had a woman senator either. This is a special proclamation for us, those of us who have struggled and found a way to succeed in what feels sometimes a really daunting atmosphere. It particularly right now, I think that it's really hard to think about how we advance women's equality and women's rights in an environment that doesn't seem to acknowledge that or want that to happen. So the fight is harder than it's been, and thank you for being on the front line of that. I will say that one of the things, in talking about policies that make things easier for women to go out and do the work that they need to do, whether it's advocacy or any kind of work, is that last year, the commissioners put on the ballot the child care referendum, and that passed in our community. And just thank you to the people of Larimer County for recognizing what an important need that is. I think about my own journey and how if I didn't have childcare, I was a mom in college, and so I would not have gone through college would it not been for the childcare that I was able to access and further my career in so many ways. So we know that that's been a barrier for women, and to have maybe more women to be able to go into the workplace that want to have that barrier removed feels like a really important step. So just proud of the work that we've done as Board of County Commissioners to try to acknowledge barriers for women and how to create equality. And we know that we have a lot of women in Larimer County in leadership positions, including our own county manager, who I'm sure we'll hear from soon. But thinking about, even our county treasurer and our county clerk are both women, and our county clerk and recorder is responsible for these elections that are so important to all of us, including women, and making sure that we advance those rights and make sure that those rights aren't taken away from us, because I think we somewhat feel that we're facing an environment where there's some uncertainty about elections, and knowing that Tina's at the helm in our county is certainly something that gives me great security, knowing that. So I'll just end by just saying thank you again to all the women who are out there doing the work every single day, helping other women. And I hope that everyone celebrates Women's Equality Day and really works for that equality. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. I want to thank Trish and Patty for being here today. And you all have been, along with your organizations and a lot of your colleagues that you are closely working with, have done a lot of work for a long time in this community to keep this, to keep the awareness of this issue. As everyone knows, or maybe they don't know, when we talk about being only 5 women have been county commissioners in the 165-year history of Larimer County. We're older than the state. We're one of the original 11 counties. And you think about that history, I'm very proud to be the first woman to hold a seat in my district. And folks, when I ran, told me there's no way I was going to win or do this, but I did it. And I did it with the help of the voters. I hope they realized I was going to be fighting and bringing everyone's voices with me, and everyone's interest. And I really appreciate this opportunity and privilege. But also, I know I'm paving a way for other people coming behind me, and folks like my daughter who have less rights than I have now, or I had when I was her age. And I think that's really important when we think about this and some of these things that we still have some gender inequality that needs to be overcome. she's over away at school and she has a woman governor, and we talk about that often. And so I think that's really interesting that she's in school where she sees women representation like she has here. And I would say Larimer County, I think, has been extraordinarily forward thinking and amazing with having so many women leaders in positions of leadership. And I think when we talk about Equality Day and talking about the pay gap and also just opportunities, even in education, it just things like Women Give and other organizations, I belong to Women Give, that's just still working very hard to help elevate women and help them direct them towards self-sufficiency as they were raising their kids, as Commissioner Stevens said. And I know I had to change my career plans because we couldn't afford childcare. And it had to be alongside when luckily my work allowed, it wasn't really high quality childcare, but it was discounted because had it there while I was working. But it just was something that slowly I had to leave the workforce because we just couldn't manage all of it. And that was very hard. But I think, when I think about the suffragists, I'm being the co-founder of the National Women's Suffrage Monument in D.C., which is going to be on the National Mall near the Lincoln Memorial. That was an idea that we had back in 2018 when we knew this anniversary, the 100th anniversary was coming up. And I think, Patty, I came to some of your events to try to talk about that. And Trish, I was there, and they said, oh, there's no way. And so we just slowly, a group of women, we all just keep building this nonprofit and then handing it off to a group of women who are continuing to pave the way, because that's their full-time job, is to finish this. And it's hard to, being the co-founder and building this nonprofit and building the sport and just all the things thrown at us. And we just kept step by step, just keep fighting and keep bringing the stories and making this history that's not taught or told in our in our schools and for most folks, to make sure this monument is telling the whole story, not just one or two suffragists, but the whole story of all the states and all the folks and the rich history of Colorado leading the way, which I still think we led by referendum, letting people choose, and we were the first to chose to let women have the right to vote, and we had 3 women in the legislature in the 1800s, and that was remarkable. And I think we need to tell that whole story because it's important, because this great country was built by women and men and families and everyone coming together of diverse backgrounds and cultures and traditions, just working together to create this great state and this great nation and this wonderful county that we know as Larimer County. I think the women today, as I said, we're still free to study and to speak, to write, and to choose our occupation. But we should always remember, I know we talked about some women have less rights now. My daughter, and I know I'm speaking for lots of folks, but we should remember that every inch of freedom or the right to vote was bought for them at a great price. When we think about the suffragists, some of them were jailed and beaten, starved, and endured great ridicule and adversity. And there was actually groups of women who were saying they were going to destroy family values at that time. And it just, I can't imagine, especially at that time and place, how that must have been such a great price to stand up and keep fighting for the right to vote and for equality. And I think it's really important for us having this proclamation. That's why we're very careful. Actually, I remember, Trish, I brought this, you and I worked on this together. It's been 5 years now that we started having this proclamation. And you and I worked on getting this going, and there was the Sonoma County had a great template, but we really I appreciate you making those comments, because we have worked hard to make sure this reflects Larimer County and some of the history. But I think we need to continue to show our gratitude by making sure we remember whose shoulders and work we stand on, and then just keep working and forwarding on to the reforms of our own times and really encouraging the future generations and iterations now, which I met a young woman who's starting at CSU today. Her family is dropping off. They stopped on the county road by my house to watch the sunset. And I got to meet this young woman who's going to be moving here from a way far East Coast state. And I'm so excited to be here. And I told her, look me up and let me know how I can support you. But I'm just really uplifted by some of these younger women who have a lot of passion and courage. And I hope that they will keep grab the baton and move it forward, and keep spreading the light of freedom and truth still wider, and making sure we bring more chairs, make bigger tables, and just keep everyone adding in that we don't forget the debt that each generation over these decades and generations have paved the way, and we are currently paving the way. And I hope we empower those women that, like the one I met last night and talking to my daughter last night, remember that that's kind of part of our legacy is to just empower the next generation that they can do more and do lots of great things. So I don't remember do you have a theme for the women's equality today? Because I know there's not a national theme. They let every chapter, every group just have their own theme. And so they're all different. And so I could name 20 of them and not even be close to getting to all of them. But, and I just want to think about all of the people that have spoke up, and just remember, like, even is it Leah talked about, you don't know the power of your own voice until someone tries to silence it. So I just wanted to share that as well. I always think about some of those younger women that have been inspiring. So, Lorena, would you like to add anything to that?
I guess just very briefly, these proclamations are not just words on a page. They really are the values of the board. And so having it really represent Larimer County and our community is very important. Half of the people who work for this county are women, and we hope to inspire them every day. As a mom of a daughter and a grandmother of a granddaughter, I hope that they see the work that we do and they don't take for granted all the 106 years it took to get to where we are just today. So thank you for all you do to recognize women. The women you're recognizing in the community are phenomenal and just really inspirational, and it's important to continue to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorena. Yes, amazing people that you have chosen. I've have just seen Patricia. I think at the Women Voting Act panel. Then I saw her at the backpack handing out. I mean, Commissioner Stevens, right? She's everywhere, and so and Arpy is always, she's been a force for a long time. So and Lynn is amazing as well. So just really exciting to have them recognized. So with that, what we're going to do is vote on the motion, and then we have some proclamations. We'll take a photo with you both, and then and we'll move on. So there's a vote motion on the table. Is there any further discussion, Commissioner Stevens? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 2-0. Please wait for just a moment as we're going to take a picture with our wonderful guests, and then we'll return momentarily. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your patience as we took a quick moment to take some photos to celebrate our proclamation declaring August 26, 2026 as Women's Right to Vote and Equality Day. We have just almost wrapping up our agenda. We have just next county commissioner, our county manager update, and then commissioner activity reports. Lorinda, what would you like to share?
Thanks, Commissioners. I did meet with Bertha Town Manager Chris Kirk last week and Assessor Bob Overbeck. Those are always great meetings. And I wanted to give a shout out to Christine Keenest in our Human Resources Office. She's our Employee Relations Manager. She put on a webinar at my request for the Association of Colorado County Administrators. Some of the small counties don't have a lot of training opportunities, and they had asked specifically for ADA, American with Disabilities Act guidance, and also performance evaluation guidance. And Christine just did a lovely job, and I continue to get kind remarks from across the state because of her efforts. So thank you to Christine if you're listening, and I guess I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions for Lorinda at all? Commissioner Stevens, would you like to go ahead and share your activity reports? And then I had a quick question still I've been meaning to ask you about the ozone conference, if I can ask you about that later today. Thanks.
Sure. I took some time off last week, so I don't have I had several meetings, but nothing to report today. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'll just share a few things. We had our I had my statewide whole blood community or Colorado Whole Blood Coalition Advisory Committee meeting yesterday or last week, and that continues. Just look at the data and talking about the implementation on that, our emergency medical services, and so that work continues. I had the mountain after our admin direction. I had our Mountain Pine Needle Working Group, which is several. I think we have 6 working groups out of the Mountain Pine Beetle Task Force, which is meeting this morning and for the rest of the day. And so that was, we're actually getting lots of progress on some different groups of activities like community outreach, local government outreach, and other things like that. We had our Board of Social Services meeting. If you haven't seen that session, you should go back and watch that online. It was August 12th at 1:30 to 3:30, and it's really some good information about what our Human Services works so hard, but also if you're wondering about changes about HR1, I really recommend going back and watching that and the work that they do. There's some amazing changes and innovation they did, which were phenomenal. So I was excited to learn more about that. We had the ribbon cutting at the Horsetooth Area Information Center, and this was celebrating the Federal Lands Access Program, which is a grant that we received several years ago that had some challenges beginning of last year, just with some changes at the federal administration level, and through some work with us as a Board of County Commissioners, but also our staff's diligence and our partnership with the Bureau of Reclamation and the Central Agency on Public Lands, which is also working with that project, which involved Horsetooth Area Information Center and Carter Lake Reservoir, and those 2 areas. It helped with adding turn lanes for safety, and it reconfigured some of the parking lots to increase 13% new parking, more places without expanding the area to protect kind of the lands. It was great partnerships with the construction crews and design crews. So it added a swim beach and wheelchair and ADA accessible, increasing that at Carter Lake, and another site there that has really a wonderful, well-landscaped. It really blends in with the parking lot with the surrounding areas at Carter Lake. Overall, amazing project. You can go on to the Natural Resources website to look at the video and the drone footage. It is outstanding. But I wanted to say this project was done 14 months ahead of schedule. 14 months ahead of schedule. I've seen a lot of projects around here get done ahead of schedule, but this one was done 14 months ahead. And I just wanted to shout out to all those partners, including Department of Resources, Bureau of Reclamation, the Central Agency on Public Lands, and the construction crews and the design crews. Outstanding work, and really just really talks about the power of partnerships and collaboration and what we got done there. And thanks for the wonderful day to go out and beautiful day at Horsetooth Reservoir, and it was a lot of fun. So, and then I went and attended the Healing Warders Open House, which is a group that does lots of processes, massage appointments for veterans and first responders, which really identifying those groups, and it's a really a very needed and a wonderful nonprofit. They do get some grants, but I wanted to go to the tour, and I found out that they've outgrown their space, and other towns are having them expand into, like Westminster and other towns are having them expand and adding more clinics, and their need is great, and they just are expanding and looking for more practitioners. And so I just wanted to celebrate them a little bit and thank them for the open house. It was a really warm and welcome place, and I think it's important to recognize the people on that do this work to take care of our veterans, and so I think that's wanted to thank them for the warm welcome. Happy birthday to Larimer County's Farmers Market. 50th anniversary celebration was a lot of fun. They could not talk me into wearing the carrot suit or anything else. They were disappointed, but and they had a wonderful balloon arch, and then lots of activities. You could have, they had kids, birthday hats for the kids, and lots of dogs. The market was full and buzzing, and it was a very, amazing time to be at the market. Then I went over just down the block to the United Way Center over there, and they had the Community Impact Center block party and handed out lots of backpacks for those families in need, especially the Latinx community. There was lots of vendors and food and music, and it was a lot of fun. United Way saw Joy Sullivan and others, and some of their board, lots of other electeds, and it was a wonderful day, and it's great to be there and seeing just the kids excited about school and the backpacks, and so proud of their new wonderful backpacks full of school supplies. And then we had a town hall at Congressman Neguse at Fort Collins High School. That was probably close to 500 people. That was a really great town hall, and then Sunday I attended the Fort Collins Turkish Festival, which is actually the Turkish Association for the state of Colorado. Again, really well attended, great music, fun, and I just want to thank them for their gracious hospitality, their warm and welcoming embrace, and just taking me around and showing me all these amazing artists who are making art and plates and weaving and just getting to participate and learn so much. It was a wonderful, beautiful day. And this was like the third or fourth year I've gone, and it's just always such a joy. And I want to thank them for the warm welcome and the gracious hospitality. So with that, that's all I wanted to share. And we have nothing else on our agenda, no executive session or legal matters. So our agenda is complete. And so at 9:52, we are adjourned. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day.